The groundbreaking Whistleblower Protection Bill was passed in the National Assembly last Thursday evening without amendment, but with some amount of agitation from the parliamentary opposition about the formulation of a commission to act as the governing body. Attorney General Basil Williams, who steered the bill, stated that, among other things, the legislation offers protection for persons making disclosures about corruption and other wrongdoings dating back to 12 years prior to the passage of the bill. The bill provides for the establishment of the Protected Disclosures Commission to receive, investigate, or otherwise deal with disclosures of improper conduct and to provide for other related matters.
There's a commencement provision in this act, and it will be up to the minister when cabinet has given its approval to trigger this act and make it operational. And in so doing, Mr. Speaker, we trust that corruption in all its forms and state assets of whatever nature will be safe and secured from henceforth in this beautiful land of ours, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill for passage through this Honorable House.
Coalition Region 6 Member of Parliament Charan Das Persad recalled that in the past, some persons were taken off the job or even killed before disclosing vital information, and that this bill will protect such persons.
So this bill speaks to, again, protecting. And the key here for me, please, sir, is to have persons complain and feel secured that you will not be identified as the complainant until and unless perhaps it becomes necessary. And that, for me, sir, I wish to say, is enough to have this bill be granted passage through this Honorable House, because there are many cases, members of the Commission are obliged to not disclose the nature of the complaint, the name of the complainant, to parties being investigated.
Opposition Member of Parliament Adrian Annemeyer pointed out that the Guyana version of the bill is similar to that of Trinidad and Tobago, but requested the bill should be sent to a special select committee for consideration.
Where there are some differences, some material differences, the Trinidadian legislation provides for internal disclosures. We somehow omitted that from our legislation. Perhaps the honourable member will need to reconsider that. I think it's important, it should be in the legislation.
The Attorney General felt otherwise.
Mr. Speaker, there were ample opportunities around the country for changes to be made and for memoranda to be sent into us to affect any changes in the bill that is before you. Some changes were made. Human Rights Association, and over the time some changes were made. But basically, most people signed on to the provisions in the bill, and largely these provisions are well designed to give comfort and to give encouragement to an employee to blow the whistle on the employer or a fellow employee.
Opposition Chief Whip Gail Teixeira said her party was not opposed to the enactment of the legislation, but she contended that the bill was not in compliance with international conventions since it lacked some of the guidelines that will improve public trust, among other things.
Facilitate and encourage people to come forward with disclosures, protect people under the Public Disclosures Act, and to be able to ensure that the intention of the government, the intention of the opposition, to prevent acts of corruption, to prevent wrongful abuse, to prevent people from misusing and abusing taxpayers' money and public funds, is one that we all can share in this House in a non-partisan way. But we need to do it well as we can. This is not an issue of adventurousness. This is an issue where there are tried and tested opportunities and guidelines out that can help us to get to where we are. We don't have to be the rocket scientists on this issue.
There have been several calls on both the previous and current administrations to speedily get the bill through the House so as to protect persons who have relevant information. Minister Williams explained that the passage of the bill is necessary since the government is on an irreversible path to counter corruption in all forms. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.